Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your afternoon to join me. I really appreciate it. I hope that all of y'all are having a fantastic Saturday. I know that I myself am getting ready to get out the door and on over to work, and I look forward to being behind the flat top. And actually, I really enjoy cooking, so that is not a joke. There are lots of jokes on the channel, including the person that you're looking at right now, but that is not one. I love cooking, so I mean, I say that until there's like 15 tickets waiting to be cooked and everything's all just kind of a blur, but it's super fun, and when it's over, it feels that much better. And so, I want to talk today about middle class wages. And so, link in the description below to an interesting mainstream media video. I think one of an NBC affiliate, perhaps MS or CN. They both end with BC. So, anyways, you guys know what I'm talking about. And check it out. It's a great video. It's really short. It talks about how, in the last, I do believe, from trying to remember in the video, 40 years, something like the productivity in the United States has just fallen below 90%, which is quite incredible. We are quite a productive country. And wage increases in that same time period over the last 40 years have only given about a 30% increase, which compared to the nearly 90% increase is, well, three times over that amount. And so it's long and overdue for the federal government, either Republican or Democrat, to seriously tackle the issue of minimum wage. Now, in California, for example, they have $20 an hour minimum wage. And I'd argue that the cost of living here in Albuquerque is just about as high as it was at its peak in California, so far as housing costs and living costs and education goes, and food costs. So there's always those things to consider. But I'm a huge advocate and proponent of raising the minimum wage. I myself have been on public record for paying staff at least $20 an hour for well over a decade. So I've had a history of always paying people what I felt like they deserved. And even at that, as a business owner, I've done quick calculations, and my calculations equate to those that are given by well qualified professionals, in that minimum wage for a single person, a minimum living wage for a single person, translates or calculates to roughly about $27 an hour, $23 in some cases, depending on the local economic environment or the place that you're at. However, that's well about half of what people start paying at. And after taxes, even at, $20 an hour, it still really only amounts to about 17, a little more than 17, a little less than 17. Uncle Sam always takes their cut. There's always these things to consider. So I think it's interesting when employers provide employment opportunities thinking that we don't have to pay taxes, or not considering the fact that we have to pay taxes, in that every dollar counts, and it does matter. And just paying people an appropriate wage, I think, is something, again, that I've held steadfast on publicly for well over a decade. So yeah, it's just, you pay for what you get. And I feel like if you pay people more money, you get more productivity, which translates over to more money for the business owners. And so, yes, while I'm a lovely hard worker and I appreciate opportunities provided to me, I don't do things because of the money. If I did, I'd be doing nothing, which is what I was doing for so long, which is why now I've been trying to do something. And the something that I do, I genuinely just want to care about. I just want to care about doing what I'm doing, and whatever money is connected to that, great, but it's not why I'm going into work. I'm going into work because I enjoy cooking. I enjoy being in a kitchen. I enjoy having time go by fast. I enjoy making people happy by making their tummies happy. That's what I enjoy. It's really an unquantifiable kind of a feeling to get when you feed people, when you're involved in the process of helping feed people. This is something that I've learned, I'd say, in the past 16 years or so, since I've been about 20. I've truly learned this in every type of industry that I've worked in as it concerns hospitality, whether that's for myself, for a fancy resort, a fancy catering company, casual dining restaurant, or a fast food joint, or in the dish pit. I've literally tried to verse myself in the experience of all of these different areas so that I could know about what it takes to open a restaurant, to run a staff, to do all of the things that are required to be a successful business as it concerns food, whether that's catering, or servicing in a brick and mortar sit down or takeout. I enjoy all aspects of the food industry. And again, just because it makes people happy, food does that. It's really cool. And so if you take pride in what you do, like I think I do, then I think it translates to the plate. And I think this could be a simple basket of french fries thrown in a deep fryer on over to a steak. I mean, the steak that you buy at the store is the same steak in a lot of instances that you pay $80 for at the fancy restaurant, but it's the service that you're paying for, not just the fact that it's being cooked for you, but the people that are cooking your steak know how to cook that steak so that you are going to have the most enjoyable experience possible. I think there's something really special about that because, again, it speaks volumes when it's connected or correlated to the wallet and or purse or whatever in between, whatever you keep your dough in. And I like food. And so middle class jobs, especially in the food industry, it's weird how I offshot into that. I guess it's because now I'm employed and stuff. But I feel like the food industry, out of all the service sectors in America, is one that is an expensive one for owners, and it's a high risk and gamble for all those involved. It's really expensive to run a restaurant, and it's really expensive to make sure that you have the infrastructure to maintain the every daily usage of that restaurant and its equipment and all of these things that are really a lot of money. I mean, serious. You guys Google quickly a hot warming Cambro or something. I mean, these things are not cheap. A reach in refrigerator. It looks like it'd be a few $100s. It's actually a couple $1,000. Nacho cheese holders. You'd think that it'd be a couple $100 tops. These things are also thousands of dollars to hold cheese. So it's interesting in the food industry that you're charged for potential future profits, and that's what you're paying for. It literally probably costs $20 in steel parts and 15 minutes of labor to assemble one of those nacho cheese holders. That's even if that long, considering machines probably assemble it and their cost per unit is probably way lower than that. However, the intrinsic value is that you're going to make money with it, and they're interested and they know you're going to make money in it. So they want a little bit of that money up front without having to take the risk or gamble that the small business owner does when they decide to finance the restaurant on their own dollar, which is, again, why you see a lot of major corporations fail in that because they are fiscally irresponsible. And it's hard to be fiscally responsible when the money's not yours, as it concerns running your restaurants and paying yourself a salary and making sure that you're bringing in the kind of numbers that you're going to need to ultimately satisfy, I guess in this case or in that instance, your shareholders. But I've been a sole proprietor. I will always be a sole proprietor. I've failed as a sole proprietor, and I will succeed as a sole proprietor. And that's just kind of the way that it is. But I gotta focus on being a line cook right now. So I'm gonna end the video. I hope that you guys have a lovely Saturday night. And if you're going out, don't forget to have a designated driver, somebody who has not consumed 1 ounce of alcohol. And if that is in fact the case, hit up a ride share. do what you need to do, call somebody to make sure you're safe, but definitely don't enter a vehicle that anyone has been driving in, and do not drink and drive yourself. So I hope that you guys have a really good night. Happy Saturday, and we'll see everybody either real late tonight or tomorrow. Okay? All right. Bye.